Today I'm going to talk about the Parrot Leaf stroke Joseph's Coat stroke Party Time plant. It's interesting names, I must say, but the beautiful thing about this plant is it's such a showpiece because it's variegated and has a splash of pink in it. The thing about this plant is that it is a perennial plant, and basically is that it does grow, but occasionally if you do want to have it fuller, I normally go back in the evenings and I pinch the tops. So why don't you welcome this in your garden, because they're great for borders. They just add that splash of color, and I think it looks amazing, and especially against my lovely iris and all these other plants. So my name is Alice and I'm the Red Soil Gardener. So propagating this parrot leaf, or Joseph's Coat, or as they call it, Party Time, is actually very simple. Again, we go back to the same principle of looking for the node. Now what you need to do is early in the morning, because it is quite a delicate plant, is early in the morning, just after the morning dew or just after it's rained, but not during the full sun, at midday, just go and get yourself a cutting. Now what I've done is I've gone out and got a cutting, is I've just made sure that I have at least 2 nodes, because one node will eventually, when it does root, will go into the soil, and then the other node, at least it'll be in a situation that it can produce its leaves. So now I have all these cuttings, look at them. Oh, this brilliance of color, I'm just going crazy about it. But just look at that color, just look at it, all that lovely pink. And it does get a bit variegated here, where you have pink and sort of like an orange color. I just love this plant. So what we do is, again, 2 nodes, or even 3, it's not bad, is I'm going to snip all these leaves away. I'm just going to place it here, and I'm going to do the same with all the other plants. Always try to get as many cuttings, because the problem with cuttings and propagation is sometimes they don't all work. So the trick is, when you're doing a propagation, try to get as many cuttings in the beginning, so at least you have some that do survive and some that will not do as well. So what we've done here now is we've actually done the cuttings and we've removed the leaves, and I'm just going to put these aside because we don't need them now. And all you do is get your water like that, and take your plant and just stick it in the water, and you're halfway done. So I have one plant in there, and make sure that the node is in the water. And here, just clean it up. There's another one. This one, it looks a bit too flimsy for me, and this one looks a bit better. So I'm just going to snip this and just submerge the node in water, just like that. Now what happens is, I had started a propagation here, and these are my Joseph Coat Party Time stroke Parrot Leaf, and this must be about 10 days ago, and I've already got rooting. There you go. And all these others, again, I have rooting again from all the nodes, and some of them are really nice and long. And so with these ones, what I'm going to do So just put that aside. So I have this well-drained soil, as you can see. Also, make sure your pot is drained, because the thing about this plant is that it just likes a well-drained soil, and if it gets waterlogged, it will get root rot. So I'm going to place these ones in this beautiful mixture. I'm just going to make a hole, and I'm going to put them in and submerge the 2 nodes that are rooting. Just be gentle, because we do understand that through water propagation is that the rooting is always a bit more delicate than when you do it in soil. So it's just to be really, really gentle with your plant, because you may damage the roots and the plant can go into shock, and we don't want that. The soil that I have put it in is moist, because then it doesn't really get your transplant shock. So it's moving from a water situation into a moist soil situation, so that you eliminate the transplant shock. So there you are. That's a simple propagation of your parrot leaf or your party time plant. So the thing about this plant, why it is successful, where I've showed you where I planted them, is basically in the morning and sort of late afternoon. It's a bit more shaded here, and that's what it likes. It likes a bit of sun, but shade, semi-shade, semi sort of light, diffused light, it actually can do well. When it does get full sun, it does lose its variegation. And also, if you do stress the plant by overwatering, it will lose the variegation. So just be gentle. This plant is actually quite a strong, tough plant, but for as long as you give it the right conditions, it'll be there all the time. Now, the other thing is that, I'll put this aside, is that once the plant does mature, is that what I would do is just do the pinching technique, where you go to the top of the plant and just remove the head. Now, this sort of technique will make it grow fuller, and that's what you want to have when you have such pretty variegation and you want drama through the plant in your garden. So basically what you do is you go to the top of the plant and you just nip it off. Just simple like this. This is after, once the plant has settled, is just nip the top of the plant, and what happens is the plant automatically will start branching out and get fuller. So in the way is that plant, instead of getting thin and scraggy, which your plant can have, but once you nip it, then you sort of, you'll nip it at the bud, it does branch out, and you'll get a much more fuller plant. Now, it's funny, because as I was reading about this plant, in places like South America, they actually do eat it. And I found that really fascinating. And so they steam it, or they make it into like a vegetable stir fry. But I have never tried that, and I think I will try it, because it just sounds like a very interesting plant. So basically, it is a very easy plant to manage. It is, for as long as it's a well-drained soil. Do your finger test. Don't keep it waterlogged. And basically, that's it. And it actually is a strong plant in terms that it hardly does get any pests. And I think you would love it in your borders. And also have it in clumps, so you have drama. And that's exactly what I'm going to do with these ones, is actually have it in a big pot and put it in between my borders. And in that way, you can always move it around. Thank you for being with us through this journey of our party time plant, but I could understand why they called it Joseph's coat, because once again we remember the play Joseph and his Technicolor Dreamcoat, and it's because of the abundance of color. And so do go out and buy this and nurture it. You can keep it indoors, but put it in a not direct sun, but in a sunny spot in your house, and it will nurture. And don't forget to pinch it so you get a lot of abundance in foliage. But do get it, because it's such an interesting plant, and it is quite hardy in terms that it is a survivor, and have fun having it. So thank you so much, and don't forget to share and like and press that notification button, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. So have a lovely day. What a flash of color.